You're listening to Turi Ryder's She Said What podcast. I'm Turi, along with Marci Persky. As we record this, holiday decorations are starting to appear around town, and ads for amazing sales are starting to appear on your phones and computers. Marci and I remember holiday shopping years ago at a certain formerly very large store, one that has almost disappeared. I'm convinced that someday it will be the Sears Tower again, even though Sears will be something in the historical society. Nobody will know what Sears was.
I think, you know what? I think there's still I know you could buy Kenmore appliances. So there's got to be a little piece of Sears left somewhere.
Oh, there is. But by the time they change the name of the building back, it's a pretty good guess that there won't be.
Right. It's not the Sears that we grew up with, where everybody went to either JCPenney or Sears.
Well, the Sears, by the time, so here's the thing, you can hypnotize your children and you can brainwash your children into believing that a certain store is better. And our parents definitely tried that on us. To hear them tell it, Sears was like the Rolls Royce of clothing and appliances for families like ours.
Mm-hmm.
When it came to aspirational shopping in the wrong Manhattan, Kansas, there was no Rodeo Drive. There was no Fifth Avenue. There was Sears. And I think scientists could study how long it takes to reverse belonging to a cult by trying to calculate how many times you had to have a totally excremental experience with Sears before you gave up shopping there.
Same with Montgomery Ward. Do you remember them?
Yeah, I do. There was one near my house. People were very loyal to either Sears or JCPenney, which still exists.
Yep.
But speaking only for myself, dealing with Sears customer service was like something out of Monty Python. You'd buy a refrigerator in February and the door handle would come off in your hand on the first day of March, and you'd bring it back and they'd say, well, you've had it over a month. And you'd say, I had it 30 days. And they'd say, well, February is 28 days. And things would go on like that until you wanted to beat yourself over the head with your own refrigerator door handle. To this day, what broke, I think it was a washing machine. And you'd get a hold of somebody in the repair department or the parts department, and they'd say this as though you're not supposed to get upset. Well, yes, it's a newer one.
My microwave we got the one that just blew up.
Yeah.
We got from I think the second to the last day that Sears was open.
Oh, right.
So it was on triple clearance.
Right.
And that was only I think 3 years ago out here.
And it blew up how much later?
Gone. Well, 3 years.
3 years it blew up.
We just bought it. We just got a new one.
The last time I checked, you'll say, this washing machine, this full-size washing machine, my mother's washing machine was a Kenmore, and it's still going 35 years later. And they'll say, these are the newer ones.
Yeah.
And that's supposed to make you feel better about the company and how badly it sucks now. So that in itself is not a particularly novel story. What's sad and embarrassing is how many times I've repeated that with different appliances before I finally gave up.
But I got to say one thing about Sears.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, we would wait for that stupid Sears catalog to come in the mail. And spend hours looking at it and circling things. And this is what I want. And this is what I'm going to get.
It was the height of fashion.
It was.
People had things in the Sears catalog that matched.
That matched.
That never happened in my household. Nothing matched.
No, my household was a pretty big hand-me-down household with 2 boys and 2 girls.
Yeah.
So I got all my sister's old stuff. And then my youngest brother got all my other brother's old stuff.
Well.
Yeah. And we had very different taste.
Didn't matter. Fit ya.
No, didn't matter as long as it fit.
I have to say, I thought that was one word growing up. Fits ya.
Fits ya. Yeah, the Sears catalog was exciting.
Speaking of exciting, The underwear pages were also, I've been told, entry-level porn for boys before they moved up to National Geographic.
True, true, true. And the Sears toy catalog around the holidays,
No,
that was
that
really big
didn't.
deal.
My parents managed to
Yeah.
completely convince us that if it had ever been advertised on television, we were never going to get it. Now, you know how other kids were sung lullabies at night? Rockabye baby. My parents would sing, in the Sears catalog are lots of toys. You'll never get one, you girls and boys. Give it up now and don't be surprised when you get some educational toys you despise.
Hey, that was pretty good freestyling. I'm gonna
Yeah,
call you Lil T from now on.
that's how my parents raised us. They were kind of German about it. Nine, you will get some educational toys. It will not be books. That's what the library is for. You will get some educational toys, and you will get a giant box of crayons, which will be split between all three of you, and will be divided night after night. You will get 6 crayons a night. Do the math.
I never heard either one of your parents talk like that. By the
No,
way.
but that was the attitude.
I know.
They never talk like that. They're from New York. They didn't talk like that. That was just their attitude. This is what you're gonna get, so just deal.
Deal.
And then they would just sort of, pretend they hadn't heard us asking for whatever we wanted. We'd say, "Can I ask for a?" And they'd say, "You can ask for anything you want."
You're not gonna get it.
Well, that was yes. We could fill in that blank. You know those tests that they give you in high school where you have to fill in the rest of the sentence. Yeah.
Yep.
We got really good at filling in the rest of the sentence as long as the rest of the sentence was, "Well, you're not going to get it."
The one present that I remember from when I was a kid was I really, really wanted this stupid Tressie doll. Her name was Tressie. And you pressed a button in her back and her hair grew. Yep. And then you press the button and her hair gets short again. And I wanted this doll so bad. And I knew exactly where my parents hid the presents every year.
Uh-huh.
And this one year, I'm back there poking around and no one was home, which is weird, but no one was home. And I found it and I played with it every day. That by the time the first night of Hanukkah came around, I didn't want it anymore because I was bored.
Did they know that you'd found it?
No.
Oh, no. So they wrapped it all up again. You put it back. They wrapped it up.
Yep.
They gave it to
Yep.
you. Oh.
I remember that. And I remember spilling black ink on my mom's white bedspread. Those are my 2 biggest childhood
You have mentioned the
memories.
white bedspread
I'm so
made
scarred.
a deep impression on you.
Yes, I am so scarred.
I think I finally gave away the Barbie that I bought for myself.
I don't know what happened to Tressie. I'm sure one of my brothers colored her face blue. All those little kind of doll things, and
Why
action
blue?
figures.
Why blue? Oh, I know why blue. I know why blue.
Nerfs. I don't know.
There was no such thing as a Sharpie back then, but there were blue ballpoint pens all over the place.
Yes,
That would
that
be
was
the reason.
probably it.
Yeah.
But yes, everyone had blue faces.
I could sing a song to Blue Faces, but I'm not gonna.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
One improvisational lullaby is enough, I think. If you've made it this far, chances are you've been enjoying Turi Ryder's She Said What podcast. In which case, you might also like my book, She Said What? A Life on the Air. You can find that at your neighborhood independent bookstore or on Amazon. Marci and I really appreciate your good reviews wherever you care to leave them. Your kind words help the podcast grow. Thanks.